Okay, I think we'll just get started. Uh, Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick Lumumba, and I'll be your host today. So, thank you so much for joining in. We are going to have it's going to be a short presentation, and then after that, we can have a full discussion. You'll shoot your questions, and we'll discuss together. First of all, this is WordPress Nairobi Meetup. It's a group of WordPress users, WordPress developers, bloggers, writers, business people. And it's for anyone who uses WordPress and uh, likes or loves to use WordPress. The group is free of charge. It's free for everyone to join, and it's one of the one out of 700 and something other meetup groups under the WordPress open source project umbrella. And this group is being run by volunteers. That is you and I. If you are also interested in running the group, you can always get in touch with the organizers. That is other organizers or someone like myself. Another thing is that we are supposed to be having 2 meetups per month, one online, the other one in person. The last months we've been having issues with a venue, but luckily we were able to secure a venue with the help of our friends from Paystack. Our friends from Paystack are willing to give us a venue that we can use for our in-person meetups. So with that, we will be having our next in-person meetup. I think it's 2 weeks from now. The next the Saturday from the next Saturday. That should be 27th. Yes, 27th. It will be from 2 p.m. to around 5 p.m. and the venue will be communicated. It's around Westlands. This time it's not going to be within the CBD. Another thing that I also wanted to put across before we get started is we are looking for someone who can come in and help us with graphics. Like I said, this group is being run by volunteers, and it's just you and I. It's you, someone else, something like that. So if someone is good with graphics, you can always come in and help us with creating graphics for meetups and anything else. With that said, I'll jump straight into our topic for the day. We are going to talk about the must-have WordPress plugins, and I had prepared a short presentation here that I'm going to share with you. So I'll share my screen. And you let me know if you can be able to see my screen. Can you be able to see my screen? Okay, can you be able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, I believe that our group is made up of WordPress developers or web developers. We have people who just use WordPress to run their blogs. We have those who use WordPress to, run their business sites. So we are a group. It is a group made up of different people who have different skills when it comes to using WordPress, maybe building websites or just using it. Now, the tools or the plugins that I'm going to talk about are plugins that I believe, even if you are not a developer, even if you're just someone who uses WordPress for, just to run a normal blog, then you should be having them. That's why we are calling them the must-have WordPress plugins. These are must-have WordPress plugins. They are different from the ones that we call the must-use WordPress plugin or the MU plugins. The MU plugins basically come with pre-installed, and you'll find some hosts, they put in those plugins within the WordPress installation, so they come in automatically. But these ones here, these are plugins that I believe that if you have them, they'll make your work easier as someone who is running a WordPress website. Now, just a moment, go back. So I put in some short description or a definition of a WordPress plugin. Plugins are just but tools that will help you enhance the functionality of your website without really having to code anything. So you don't need to know how to code for you to be able to achieve some functionalities within your WordPress website. For example, if you wanted to add a contact form, you don't have to code that. You just need to use a plugin to be able to add that feature into your WordPress website. And there are over 50,000 WordPress plugins already within the WordPress plugin repository. There are other developers who haven't listed their plugins in the WordPress repo, but the ones that are in the WordPress plugin repo are over 50,000 plugins. And with that said, how do you know that this is the plugin that I need to be using for in my WordPress website? That's why we are having this meetup today. It's just but to talk about some of the plugins that you can use to make your work easier when you are running your website. Now, for the must-have WordPress plugins, I have listed some here. Actually, I believe that with these ones here, you'll be in a position to run your WordPress website smoothly. Number one is the admin and site enhancement. We have the managed WP, solid security, which formerly it was iThemes security, classic editor. That is if you want to make your to have the old editing or the old editor experience, you can use the classic editor. And then we have the rank math. Then we have Lightspeed cache or any other speed cache that you can, website cache that you can use. So I'm going to talk about them one by one, starting with the admin and site enhancement plugin. Now, this plugin here, it's actually new, and it helps you, customize your website in whichever way you want. For example, when it comes to login and logout, you can change the login URL. You hear that if you want to at least make your website secure, you need to change the default login URL, which is usually the WP login.php or WP admin. So if you want to change that without using an extra plugin or another plugin that will to help you achieve that, you can use the admin and site enhancement. This plugin has lots and lots of features. It's new, but it has lots and lots of features. It's something that I tried it and I saw that you can use or you can do lots of things from here. Let me just show you how it works. So this is an admin section, and starting with the content management, you can see that you can duplicate your content without using another plugin. So imagine if you were to be using a content duplication plugin plus another plugin to enable you upload SVG, we know that WordPress doesn't support SVG file types. So for you to be able to achieve that, you need to use a plugin, or you need to inject some sort of code in your functions.php. But with this plugin, you can be able to achieve all those with, just toggling these settings here. Moving forward, we have the Manage WP. So Manage WP basically helps you manage a number of websites within one dashboard. So you can be managing, let's say, 10 websites without having to, log into each and every website all the time. You can be managing them from within one dashboard. The only thing that you need to do is have an account with Manage WP, and then connect your website to the Manage WP dashboard, and then you will be able to run almost everything from within the Manage WP dashboard. Some of the things that you can be able to do is back up your website. With the free option, of the free version of the Manage WP, you will be able to back up your website at least once per month. But if you go for the premium version, or if you want to pay for premium backups, you can back up on a daily basis, or twice or 3 times per day, depending on how you want to, take your backups. You can run updates, the bulk updates, the plugins, the themes, the WordPress core, everything you can run from within the dashboard. Like in this case, if you look at the plugins that need to be updated here, these plugins are from different websites. There are number of websites that have been listed within this dashboard here. There are number of, with those websites, there are themes that need to be updated. There are WordPress core files that need to be updated. So with that, you can always do all those from within the Manage WP dashboard. So if it's something that you have, let's say 10 or 12 or 20 websites that you're managing, you can set aside, let's say every Tuesday you run plugin updates or theme updates or all the updates, something like that. And then the next plugin that I want to talk about is the Solid Security. This plugin helps secure your website, or at least reduce the risk to something nearly zero. That is what they say. That is what they promise. They promise that they will reduce your WordPress website risk to nearly zero. So Solid Security is a plugin by these days they call themselves solid.com or something, but before it was being called iThemes Security. I know we have different preferences we have preferences when it comes to the plugins that we use. If you are a fan of WordFence, use WordFence. But for me, I believe that with the WordPress security plugins, you don't have to pay for the plugin. You don't have to buy the pro version of the plugin. The WordPress security, I believe that the hosting should be able to cover 90% of the security, of the website security. The rest you need to be doing updating your plugins, the theme and the core files, and making sure that you are always running your website on an SSL, active SSL certificate. So with that, you don't need to buy a pro version, but if you want, you can always buy the premium version of the security plugin. Number 4 is the classic editor. I'm very traditional, and the first thing that I usually do is install the classic editor, because I still believe in having the old editor experience. I find it easy, and if you are someone who builds websites for clients and you want them, or you don't want them to be running into problems with how to use the Gutenberg or the other editors, then I think the classic editor should be the easiest of them to use. So classic editor is one of those plugins that I think you should be having installed in your WordPress website. Number 5, I have the title here, Lightspeed Cache, but like I said, we have preferences. For the Lightspeed Cache, I think that if you have, or your host is supporting the Lightspeed Cache, or it's one of those hosts that, part of the developers of the Lightspeed Cache, then you should use the Lightspeed Cache. Other than that, there are plugins. There are web hosts that they come with their own, cache plugins. For example, if you are using, there is this web host from the UK called 20i. 20i, they have their own cache plugin and they support their own CDN. You don't have to use Cloudflare for CDN. You don't have to install an extra plugin for cache or anything. And their cache plugin is called Stack Cache. Other like SiteGround, I think they also have theirs. So first, get to know the technology behind the hosting that you're using, and then now you can settle on the cache plugin that you're going to use. And when you're using the cache plugin, you need to be very careful when it comes to doing the settings. I see people say that WP Rocket is one. It's a very good plugin, of which it is, and it is a premium plugin. But now the problem comes in when it comes to doing the settings. You may end up doing the settings to a point of destroying your own website. So you need to know how to use these cache plugins in order to be able to achieve the speed that you want with your website. Next is for the SEO. For the SEO, we have lots of the SEO plugins out there. The top 3, I think, is Yoast, Rank Math, All-in-One SEO, and then there are other SEO plugins. The reason as to why I think Rank Math SEO is a perfect choice is because with Rank Math SEO free version, you will be able to get most of the features that you only need to pay for if you were to choose Yoast SEO. But all of them are perfect plugins. So Rank Math SEO is one of those plugins that I think you should be having installed in your WordPress website for you to be able to make your SEO or optimize your content on your website for SEO. Now, before we go into this, there is this part where people get to install plugins that they believe will, optimize their images for speed, which is a good thing. And there are very many plugins out there. One of them, I think, is Imagify, and then there is the one that is built by WP Dev. But for me, I believe that if you want, you can optimize your images outside your WordPress website. How? Make sure that if, let's say you want to use the WebP files, convert them, the JPEG or PNG files to WebP. Reduce the file sizes. If it is 1 MB, reduce it to something 40 kilobytes from outside the WordPress website. You don't need to install another plugin for you to be able to achieve that. There are websites out there that you can be able to use to reduce the file sizes before you can, before you can add them into your website. So with that, I think you don't need to use an extra plugin for you to be able to optimize your images. And another thing is the other plugins that you can use, which I believe some of you use is, if you are into page builders, use Elementor or Elementor Pro and SEF. What else? Yeah. And for the analytics, there are lots and lots of analytics plugins that you can use. Or if you want, you can avoid the issue of, you can avoid the idea of displaying the analytics within your dashboard and then just use the analytics, Google Analytics dashboard outside your WordPress website. But if you want, you can use the likes of Independent Analytics, Analytify, or the Monster Insights if you want. So some of the tips of using WordPress plugins, I had come up with around 7 of them. Number 1 is you need to keep your plugins updated. This is no brainer. Like, if there is a new update, then it means that that new update is supposed to be solving some issue. Maybe it's a security issue, or maybe it's adding a new feature. Now, if you don't update your plugin, there is a possibility that the previous version or the version that you're currently having had some security issues, and the longer you stay with your plugin not updated, the easier you make it for the hackers out there to hack into your website. Number 2, you need to limit the deactivated plugins within your website. If you have like a plugin that you're no longer using and you have deactivated it, it's better if you delete it altogether. Just remove it altogether. And I think one of the features within WordPress admin dashboard is the site health. If you are someone who likes using the site health under the tools, you'll see that one of the things that they recommend that you do is you delete the inactive plugins. So that's very important. Number 3, get your plugins from trusted sources. If it's a plugin, let's say you want to use Monarch. Monarch is one of the Elegant Themes plugins for the social media, the social icons. You can use it to display the social follow icons or the social sharing buttons, but it's not available in the WordPress repo. The best source to get that plugin is from the Elegant Themes website. So it means you'll need to sign up and get the plugin from there. Don't get the plugin from other sites that will tell you that you're going to get this for free, it's a premium, and then you do that. Don't do that. Get from the trusted sources. The trusted sources here include the WordPress repo, WordPress plugin repository, which is on wordpress.org/plugins. And the second trusted source is from the developer's website. If it is from Elementor, get it from Elementor. If it is from Elegant Themes, get it from Elegant Themes. If it is from the builders or the creators of, the likes of Imagify, get it from there. Don't get it from a website that is promising you that it's free, that you should just download it. Number 4, fewer is better. This is something that I think most developers run into, or most WordPress users run into. You just want, like, there is a new feature there is a feature that you want within your website. The first thing that you're going to do is install a WordPress for you to be able to achieve that. You should try and avoid that. Excuse me. Just excuse me for a moment. Okay. Now, the other thing is, sorry about that. The other thing is, I was talking about fewer is better. If it is something that you can be able to achieve with, let's say, code, and you're a developer, achieve it with the code. Just find a way of adding that code into your website, either through code snippets, or you can use the a child theme to be able to inject that code into the functions.php within the child theme. And then avoid conflicting or duplicate plugins. This is where we have people who believe that if you're like using two cache plugins, then there's a possibility that you're going to make your website even more faster. Or if you're using two SEO plugins, you're going to make your website more SEO optimized. That's not the case. Use one plugin for each feature. For example, if you want one for SEO, stick with Rank Math or Yoast or all-in-one SEO. Don't have two plugins that are going to be conflicting at the end of the day. And 6, install only quality plugins. Quality in this case, I believe, is before you install a plugin, check on the reviews, check on how the developer supports the plugin, and check on the support forum for this plugin. See how this developer interacts with the plugin users. See how he handles, or the developer handles, the issues that come up with the plugin, and see if the plugin supports the current technologies. The PHP, does it support the PHP 8.2, or does it support the current version of WordPress? We are in WordPress 6.5. Does does that plugin support the current version of WordPress? So those are some of the things that you need to be able to check before you install your plugin. I know another thing that I think you'll want to look for is the number of downloads or the number of active installs. I think that shouldn't really be a factor. A plugin may be having 100 installs, but then maybe it's a new plugin, but then it works perfectly and it doesn't have the negative reviews, or it doesn't have those lots and lots of issues under the support forum of this plugin. And then lastly, free versus premium. Should you use the free plugin or the premium version of the plugin? That's now up to you. I believe that most of the plugins that have been added to the WordPress plugin repo, the free versions are just enough, and you can be able to achieve most of the things with just the free version of the plugin. You don't need to add or buy the premium version. But if you need to buy, then you can always buy the premium version. But the free, you can run a multi-million dollar business with just the free plugin versions. So that's it. That's the end of the presentation. I'll stop at that point. Yeah, so if you have a question, you can. Thank you so much. If you have a question, you can raise your hand and I'll pick you. Or you can also ask a question within the chats. So my first question is okay. Peter, you can go ahead.
Hello everyone, hope things get well.
Yeah.
Okay, my question was to top up on what you have shared.
Yeah. You're not very clear. I don't know if it's the microphone or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, mine is just a top up. I don't know if you touched about the SMTP plugin, the one that we facilitate, and the email from the website and set up for the email.
Yeah.
We really need the SMTP.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one is beside Elementor, there is a bricks builder, which is very coming very well. It has a lot of features, and on the premium one, they don't have a free version, but really need to work with. One can give a try on that.
Okay.
That's my one for today.
Nice. Now, when it comes to the use of SMTP, I ran into a problem the other day. I had built this e-commerce website, and then the client was like saying that they are unable to receive emails. Just shooting a question to the rest of the audience. Is this something that is usually happening with all the websites, or it's something that the hosts, can be able to help with? Or because I don't understand, because most of the websites that I've built really don't need one to use an SMTP plugin. They send emails, seamlessly. You don't need to use an SMTP plugin. So is this something that is common with the other websites, or it's something that the host usually has a hand in?
Let me share one on that. Personally, I believe it's that the way you hosted. I don't know, but most of the time you find client need to have different emails, like for orders for everyone, but to use for different purposes. But one thing I just do know is that it's good to install the SMTP plugin, depending on which you are using. Last time I was having an issue with the emails, and my host is the one who solved it. I bet they said that something like I don't know, Crohn's. There was an issue with that, so they sorted for that. I tend to believe when we set the SMTP plugin, the email should flow well. You should not be having some hitches. If you have hitches on that, your hosting should be able to help you on that.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other question? We have been thinking. Yes, Evelyn. Evelyn, the floor is yours. Evelyn, we cannot be able to hear you. If you're speaking, we cannot be able to hear you. Okay, you can shoot your question in the chat. In the meantime, Empower Business Show, you can the floor is yours.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned, Patrick, that you don't need to have an SMTP plugin in order to send emails. Then how are you sending emails from WordPress without one?
Yeah, that is actually the question that I was actually asking, because some of the websites actually like I have a personal e-commerce website, and I don't have the SMTP plugin installed, but it's sending emails just nicely, and none of the emails actually go into the spam folder or anything. The clients get the emails. I also get the emails as the seller, but then there are other websites that when I build, I have to use the SMTP. So I don't know if it's the host or it's, I have never really understood what's happening.
Maybe it's to do with the actual plugin that you're using to do the e-commerce. So if it's WooCommerce, maybe they have
It's,
an inbuilt.
yeah. This is a case where the two websites hosted differently, but use the same e-commerce plugin, and that is the Woo plugin.
Okay, that's strange then.
Yeah, it's really strange. Okay. Evelyn, your question. We haven't seen your question. Peter, you want to go again?
Yeah, I can add something on top of that. If you're using an e-commerce website or you're using something that transacts a lot online, it's good to install an SSL plugin. Mostly, the one that I use mostly is an SSL, Lily SSL plugin. It's a really powerful plugin, and it will make your website not to have that, to avoid that being penalized with Google. Some browser will just take it, will have that warning, this website is risky to visit and all that. So to avoid those penalties, it's good to install really SSL plugin. There's so many other SSL plugins, but the one that is easy to integrate to your website.
Yeah.
And have the key so easy is the really SSL plugin. It's always recommended to install it. It's one of the basic plugin to install. And the other thing is, if you're having a website that is being closed, maybe an AU and all that, it's good to. Is it what we call the notice that the cookie?
The cookie is constant. There is GDPR. Is it GDPR enabled or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good to know that depending on the country you're targeting the audience for, it's always good and advised to install that. And you also need to go and investigate. If you're in, there are some countries with different regulations in terms of data, so it's good to install that plugin. The other one is if you're targeting to have multiple languages, install one language, one plugin that will help you to add more languages, maybe more than two.
Yeah, that's I think for the translation plugins we have the likes of WPML.
Sure.
Yeah. About the really SSL.
Okay.
I think here, does it still go down to the kind of hosting that you're using? Because the hosting that I use, I've never really had to install that plugin.
Yeah, and you find some hosting they don't install, and you find some hosting they don't renew. You buy your domain.
Oh.
For the first time, then they don't renew. So it's good to, you don't know when it will expire. Sometimes you find maybe 2 days ago your SSL certificate just expired and you never knew. So it's always good and recommended to install that SSL plugin.
Okay.
Or any other SSL plugin.
Okay, now I get that. Now, Evelyn is asking a question here that am I supposed to update all-in-one WP migration? Because someone told me to never update. Now, Evelyn, the all-in-one WP migration is a plugin that if you are into moving your website from time to time, like if you are someone who builds websites and you want to move your website from, let's say, this host to the other host, or from this domain to the other domain, then you'll need the WP, all-in-one WP migration. I think the reason as to why this person told you never to update is because the current version of WP, all-in-one WP migration, you like at some point when you're exporting, the export works just well. But now when it comes to importing the files, you will click on import, and then it will go to 100%. Then it tells you that it has failed to import or something. So the only version that supports this, that you can, it creates a file, it creates a directory within the all-in-one WP migration directory within the, how do we call it, the / WP admin content, then the plugins, then within that particular plugin, that is the WP migration plugin, it creates a directory there that you can be able to use or copy the files that have been exported, and then, or even paste the files that have been imported into that directory. I think it's version 6.7. I have it somewhere within my GitHub, but I think that is the reason as to why they are telling you never to update that plugin, because if you do, then you will be like losing that privilege. And then the next question, you are saying, how do I ensure that all the posts appear in the web page? Because with time, some posts are disappearing. I think what you're saying here is your web page is supposed to be handling, or it's supposed to be displaying a number of posts, let's say 12. If that is the case, then you should be having the more buttons, or the more posts button. I don't know if you can be able to share with us the web address so that we can be able to check that for you. But I think what is happening is the posts get displayed. Let's say within the page it's supposed to be displaying 10 posts. You have published the 10 posts. Now the 11th post, when it comes up, the first post that you updated, or the first post that you published, will go down to the second page. There should be a button that when you click should load the next page. It's supposed to be like that, if that is the question that you're asking.
And to top up on that, some of these themes you find they don't support that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to install a plugin for maybe it more, so it will just go even beyond the theme you're using.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the time you have to install a code. Something will not work with the code. So it depends a lot, mostly on that. But you can try a plugin that just give you that option to load more posts.
Yeah. It's like Evelyn, what Peter is saying. It's supposed to, the theme should be able to support loading more posts. So when you publish 10 posts, if each page is supposed to be displaying 10 posts and you publish the 11th post, automatically the first post that you published will go down to the second page. So there should be a way of getting to the second page, which is usually load more posts, or view more posts. And the next question is which plugin is best to connect a website to Google AdSense? Google AdSense, you just need the code that you need to add to the header of your blog, or the header of your website, or the header section, that is. And most builders, or most WordPress themes provide that option of a space where you can be able to add such like those codes. But then if you find a case where there is no such option, then the likes of insert headers and footers, I'll just write it here. Or you can try the WP code. The WP code, you will be able to add a search code to your website, or within the header section of your blog. And if you want to manage how you display ads within your blog, then you can work with the likes of ad inserter. the ad inserter will help you, choose where to display the ads within your blog. For example, you can choose to display ads like after 3 paragraphs within the content, after 6 paragraphs, after 8 paragraphs, after 12 paragraphs, at the top of the content or at the bottom of the content, something like that. And with that, you'll be able to manage how you display ads. And if you disable the auto ads within your AdSense account, you will not be like these ads will not be displayed everywhere within your website. They will only be displayed as per your instructions with the plugin that I have said here, the ad inserter plugin. I believe your question has been answered. Okay. Let me see the queue. Evelyn, you still have a question? Perfect.
Yeah, when you're adding a code or a code snippet to your website, you don't have to use the function.php. You know, most people use function.php to add the code, which is really wrong, because when you update a theme, you lost all those custom code snippet you added in your website, whether it's a CSS or whatever it is. There's one simple plugin called Code Snippet. It really helps. You can be able even to manage. You can disable those code that works for seasons and all that. So I can really comment on that when you're adding maybe a code snippet to your website. Most people will be telling you to use the function.php. When you just update your website or your theme, you'll find you lost all those other functions you had added to your website. So I can really recommend to use a plugin to add those code snippets, which is a code snippet plugin.
Oh, true. That's very true. And this is for the no code guys. But if you are comfortable with getting or editing the theme files, then don't add the code directly into the theme files. That is the functions.php of your theme. The best, if you want to do that, is use either the code snippets plugin, or if you don't want to use an extra plugin for this, then the best is to use a child theme. Just use a child theme, and with the child theme you can be able to add the custom CSS, you can be able to add the custom code or the custom PHP codes within the functions.php, or you can, like within the child theme, even create the other files like the header PHP or the rest, and then add your code in there. But don't add the code directly into the parent theme. And like I was saying during the presentation, fewer is better. If it is something that you can be able to achieve without having to install an extra plugin, then achieve it without an extra plugin. You can use, if you are not code oriented, or if you know you cannot be able to add the code within the functions.php of the child theme, then use the code snippets. With that, with code snippets, like Peter has said, you will be able to manage all those code or all those functions. You can disable, you can enable, you can activate site-wide, or you can remove all the same. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so I'll be going around the room because there are very few. So I will go around asking if you have a question, and if you just say your name and what you do, and if you have a question, you ask a question. If you don't have a question, it's fine. So I'll start with Rael. Rael, do you have a question? Okay, we'll move to Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good, thanks. I'm fine with everything. So,
Okay. Thank you. Moses Karito.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Moses.
Yes.
No question.
Okay. Peter, you have something to say? Do you have another Peter? I think we have Theorara Peter. Do you have something to say?
So healthy to have this meeting. It help us to really have some connection with fellow developers. I've been working on a project which I'll be launching. I'll be posting the group the link very soon. I've been working on a plugin which is almost 100%.
Yeah.
I have submitted to the WordPress, and I'm waiting for the response. It's about the announcement in the website. Yeah, when you have multiple users, you can be able to have a widget, then you can be making announcement. To have some backend on how you can be able to add announcement and all that. Once it get approved or like get the go ahead, I'm still waiting for them to verify everything because of security and all that. But once it's done, I'll post the link. I don't know how much to add, but I look you good to be the part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Now, before I proceed, I have, if it's the first time you're joining in, we are WordPress Nairobi Meetup group, and we have a very active WhatsApp group. I have included the link. The link is under the in-call messages. You can use that link to join. We also have a Slack channel that once you're within the WhatsApp group, you'll be able to get to the Slack channel as well. Now, next, Ian, do you have something to say? Grace Ndongo? Evelyn? Yes, Evelyn, please get in touch with me via this number. That's my WhatsApp number. You can get in touch with me with via that WhatsApp number. Thank you so much for volunteering. Caroline? All right. Empower Business Show.
No, I'm fine, thank you. Thanks very much, Patrick.
Thank you so much. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in London at the moment, soon to be
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Prudence? Nelias? Do you have something to say? Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. I don't know whether I don't know. If you don't click on setting up email for like a new website,
Okay. Sorry?
if you touch on like setting up email
Uh-huh.
for a client for like a new website,
Oh, okay. Okay.
now you can probably touch on it, click on it a bit.
Okay. Okay. I think what Nelias is saying is, if I get you well, you're talking about the steps of setting up a new website. If that is the case, please just do a chat. Just write something within the chat, because I think I didn't get you clearly. But if that is the case, this is my process of setting up a new website or a new WordPress installation. The first thing that I do is I personally use Divi to build websites. So the first thing that I do, once I have the kind of host that I use, is having the one-click install. It provides WordPress as one-click install. So after installing the WordPress website, after installing the WordPress, the next thing that I do is I remove the dummy data. That is the sample page, the sample post. I delete all of them. Delete and even empty the trash. The next thing, I check on the plugins section. Usually the host that I use, you'll never find any plugin there, except for the MU plugin, which usually they don't list it under the other, the list of other plugins. And if there is a plugin that is there and I know I'm not going to use that plugin, I delete that plugin and install the plugin. The first plugin that I install is the classic editor. Like I had said, I'm very traditional, and that is the first thing that I do. Okay, I can see your question. Okay, I'll just complete this, and then the next thing is I go to the themes section, delete the other themes, the default themes, and only remain with one. Like we are in 2024, and I'm not going to use the 2024, but I'll just leave it there, and then install the theme that I'll be using. In this case, Divi. Then go to the settings under the permalink, set up the permalink to post name for easy use, and then start building from there. So your question is, you're asking on setting up email after hosting a site. Now, most web hosts will provide the email service under or within the control panel. So within the control panel, you'll find the email section where you can be able to set the email accounts. You can do that, add the possible, if the hosting package that you're using allows for, let's say, 100 or 10 or 20, you can do that. And I hear people say that you shouldn't be using emails on the same hosting that you're using for your website. I don't know how that works, but if that is the case, you can always use other services like Zoho, the Zoho Mail. What else? Yeah. So that's basically how I set up the kind of hosting that cPanel provides for the email. The email management. You can always do that. Yeah. I believe your question has been answered. Hosting, the web hosting should be able to provide you with how to add the email accounts. And when you are buying your hosting package, check if they are doing so. How many email accounts can you be able to have within that package? They should be giving you that information firsthand. Omboy Bonnie is asking me, why do you prefer Divi as to other themes? That's a tough question. I think it's for me, Divi is, for me, I think I have spent so much time learning how to use Divi. I build child themes. I build plugins that work specifically with Divi, and I think I have studied how Divi works so much to a point that it's now my preferable, it's now my preferred tool when it comes to building with page builders. If I'm to use a page builder to build a website, then Divi comes first. With Divi, I can be able to, develop or design a website as per whatever design that is there. You give a Figma design, and with Divi, I can be able to, do that or give that design life using Divi. I think it's just easy for me. People have other preferences, but for me, Divi is number one. I use Elementor as well. I have tried Bricks once, and I'm not a fan of how do we call them? These themes that you find within the theme forest, because some of them come pre-installed with lots and lots of plugins for you to be able to achieve some features. But with Divi, you start on a clean slate with all the modules. I can be able to bring anything or build anything that I want. So that's the reason, Bonnie, nothing else. It's just that I've studied it so much. Any other question? Maurice, it's you just joining in. We are almost done. But welcome anyway. Yes, please.
Okay, there's a thing that I'm using. I got it from Envato, but now sometimes I don't know what is happening. Because, for example, if I want to add maybe I want to add a sub menu, it doesn't give me that. You see that plus thing, that plus icon that normally you get when you want to add a sub menu to a menu. Now, what happens? What do I do in that case? Because now, maybe I apply towards a certain website and I don't have a credit bank to get that thing from my bank. Maybe don't use that expensive thing.
Okay, nice. I think the reason as to why we use premium themes. The reason as to why we use premium themes is because you are buying support, and if you have a problem like that, have you ever tried contacting their support?
Actually, no, I've not tried that.
Yeah, because their support should be able to help you. Anyone who sells WordPress products, whether it's themes or plugins, they should be in a position to help you with any support issue. It could be, is the theme up to date? That is the first question. Yeah, the theme should be up to date. Maybe the the version that you're using that is giving you issues is an outdated version. So first you need to confirm if the theme is up to date, or maybe the theme is not compatible with the current version of WordPress or PHP. And with that, you should be able to get the information from the developers themselves. So you should be able to, like, just if you got the theme from Envato, you can be able to trace back to the developers of the theme, and then get to their forum page or their support, channels, and just get help from them.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Okay, I actually been having thought of this last way, but I think I'll have to get support from them. I'll contact them.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Bonnie, we have lots and lots of the how to integrate or add payment options within your website, depending on the depending on the e-commerce plugin that you're using. Like if you are here in Kenya, then we have lots. Like the way Maurice is saying, we have Instant. There is the InstaSend. I know of the InstaSend. There is the Paystack. There is the Pesapal. And then within our group, we have guys who have built the M-Pesa plugin. It's an M-Pesa plugin. I've forgotten the name, but there is a developer amongst us who built an M-Pesa plugin that works perfectly. So with that, you just need if you have the pay bill or the till number, you can use that to integrate the M-Pesa payment option within your WordPress website. Maurice is asking, how do you deal with vulnerable paid plugins that come with premium themes now that you can't update directly? Now that is the issue. You find, I think if you're a developer, and I think this is one of the things that I develop child themes for Divi child themes, and one of the things that they say, or one of the guidelines, is that you shouldn't include a premium plugin into your theme or the child theme. The reason being, you are making the user or the buyer to incur more costs, extra costs. So this is the issue. You have a paid plugin within the premium theme that you really need to use, or the theme needs for it to be able to work properly. But now you can't pay for the plugin, and now there is an issue, the vulnerability issue. So how do you deal with that? First thing that I know is that if you disable the plugin, the theme won't work. The only option in this case is just to buy the plugin. Just pay for the plugin, Maurice. You don't have an option. Because how else are you going to, you can't update directly because you don't have the license. That's true. So how do you get the license? You pay for the plugin. But in this case, the premium theme developer messed you up. So I think one of the things that you need to be looking for is this theme. Is it coming with the premium plugins? If that is the case, how are you going to cover those costs? Yeah, but you don't have an option but to get the license from the from the plugin developer. Yeah. Any other question? I think if there is no any other question, then we can end the call. Evelyn, please reach out to me via WhatsApp so that. Yes, Nelias, what is the question? Is there a WhatsApp group we can join? Yes, there is a WhatsApp group. I'll just paste the link here again. Yeah, that's the WhatsApp group.
Hello.
Yes, Nelias.
Okay, question. If it's like our WordPress site, that I like the layout and how it looks.
Mhm.
How can I get like such a site? Like, how can I be able to? Is it not? I don't want to say duplicate or just steal
The design.
the layout. Yeah, the design.
You see, I've
So that's our
okay. I think I've done that severally, and I think the best is just to build it yourself using whichever tool that you use. I'd said that I use Divi. Someone with Elementor can do the same thing. You have the design, you love the design. Like the other day, someone posted their portfolio what website, and it wasn't running on it wasn't running on WordPress. It was running on some other technology, but I liked the design, and I looked at the design and I said, this is something that I can be able to achieve with Divi on WordPress. So what did I do? I just built the whole thing with the default, or with just the Divi itself. You may not be able to achieve much, but if you are good with CSS and jQuery and JavaScript, you'll be able to achieve most of the things that you admire from that website that you want to steal from. So I don't know if there is a plugin out there that you can use to, copy the whole layout of the whole website and then bring it there. I'm not so sure about that.
Let me add on that.
Yeah.
First of all, if you see on a website, first of all, if you want to steal most of these things defined by theme, there's so many websites out there. You can be able to scan a website and see which type of themes the plugins they are using.
Yeah.
You have them something like standard bin and so many other things. You can check on that. The other thing he's talking about is to crawl a website. When you crawl a website, you get everything from that website. It takes a long time now to filter everything, because when you crawl some posts, you crawl a lot, and there's a lot you crawl from a website. So the best thing is to identify which technology the website is using. If it's WordPress, it's so easy. You just have to find the theme. You get the theme, and you can use the other knowledge to make it work. And not this. Okay, to make it, you can have something such a theme you are admiring to have. But if you are good in Elementor and or any other thing, any other builder that works well with custom fit, advanced custom fit, you can be able to have everything you wish to have.
True.
Advanced custom field when you integrate with Elementor or Bricks or any other page builder, you'll be able to do a lot and amazing work, because it calls a lot of so many other functions from different areas. It works well. So I believe whatever he's talking about is crawling the website. But when you crawl, it takes a lot for you to filter everything, the one you want and the other things you don't.
That's
So
true.
the best thing to identify is to identify what the modality, the technology is used to create the website. Then from there, you can have the website.
True. First, get to know the technology behind the website. If it is using WordPress, automatically maybe there is a theme that they're using, but sometimes you may find that it's a custom made theme. So it means it's a theme that is not being distributed out there. So what do you do now? Go back to the drawing board and then use their design as your inspiration, as an inspiration, and then build that website using, if you are good with, if you can code it from scratch, you can do that. If you can build it using a page builder like Divi or Elementor, go with that. Yeah, I think that answers your question, Maurice. Nelius. Any other question? I think we've had a great discussion. We were thinking of something. That is, we have a roundtable discussion in our next call, where you just come with your issues. We talk about the issues that you have. We try and troubleshoot, because I believe that if we are 10 in a room, then at least there is someone who knows how to solve that issue, or at least there is someone who had run into that kind of issue before, and they have a solution to that issue. So we will be having some sort of a round table. And before I wind up, I would like to give you an opportunity to also, within right now or even later within the WhatsApp group, just post or suggest a topic that we can talk about in our next meeting. And I had said, for those who joined us later, for those who joined us, we had secured a venue. It's in Westlands, the pavilion. If you're familiar with that place, it's within the Paystack offices. So this is where we will be having our in-person meetups until we get somewhere within the CBD. So if you'd like to join, if you'd like to come, that's the place. We'll be setting up the meetup for 27th of this month. That is going to be on a Saturday, possibly from 2 to 5. Yeah, so that's all. And I would like to thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. You've been, good attendees, and thank you so much. If there is no any other question, then I think that will be the end of our today's meeting. Thank you so much.